Hello and welcome. This is MetalFish T20, a 9 liters case with an interesting twist. More on that shortly later. You can find this for about $70 on AliExpress. At this size, this case is comparable with Silverstone Sugo 13, which is 11.5 liters case. I will compare them soon. Measuring 253 by 240 by 158 millimeters, this is a cube case. A case with a very similar layout would be Johnsbow NV10. However, this case offers GPU options. You may opt for a low-profile GPU, which would be NVIDIA 5060, or you can opt for a regular GPU with 240mm length limit. The latter requires a PCI Express ribbon cable. I don't personally recommend using a PCI ribbon cable if you are on the latest platform because finding PCI Express version 5 ribbon cable is a pain, not to mention the fact that they are really expensive at the moment. You can see Silverstone Sugo 13 on your left and MetalFish T20 on your right. This is 11.5 liters versus 9 liters. The size difference is rather subtle. The major benefit of Sugo 13 is that you have more freedom in your GPU choices since you don't need any PCI Express ribbon cable. Additionally, Sugo 13 can use full ATX power supply, although ASFX power supply is still very much recommended. T20, meanwhile, is restricted to a flex power supply only. Essentially, by being a bit larger, Sugo 13 offers much more freedom. The flex power supply is a rather important bit because they are inherently loud. It's loud because they often overheat. However, T20 offers pseudo dual chamber by isolating it from the motherboard compartment, making the power supply run rather coolish. But that only works if you opt for a low-profile GPU. Initially, I thought the case would take 80mm fans on the side, but it looks like it takes 92mm fans. That's a good choice. Well, enough with the foreplay. It's time to build with it. The spec should be displaying on your left. It's Ryzen 7600X and NVIDIA 4060 low profile. And of course, a modular flex power supply. The case is straightforward to work with. In order to install the power supply, you have to open the bottom panel. The bottom is also where you will install your full-height GPU, should you choose to do so. Do note that doing so will likely cause the flex power supply fan to become loud. It's always better to install the CPU power cable to the motherboard in a tight build like this, because the position of the CPU power socket makes it virtually impossible for you to install it after the motherboard is installed. I personally dislike having to break off PCI slot covers like this because it leaves sharp points, which can cause rust later. Apparently, this method saves them some money during manufacturing. The build is almost complete at this point. This took less than 10 minutes. For your information, if you do intend to use a full-height GPU, it looks like you are going to need a PCI ribbon cable with about 20 centimeters in length and a 90-degree connector and a 180-degree connector. MetalFish AliExpress store does sell it, but it costs about $35, basically half of the case cost. That's why I've opted for a low-profile GPU in this video. Finally, I've opted not to use any side fans because the ventilation holes appear to be large enough that I don't feel the need. I feel that natural airflow from the CPU and GPU fans will do the job just fine. The system is louder than I was hoping for. It's probably due to the fact that there are 4 40mm fans spinning. 3 are from the GPU, and the final one is from the power supply. They are inherently loud unless their RPM goes below 1000, at which point they might as well not spin since they won't move any meaningful amount of air. My testing method is simple. I render a Blender file I made by using CPU and then GPU. I don't expect any issues from GPU due to how ventilated it is. The CPU, however, I have a concern about because it draws air from top and blows it downward. In other words, it has to draw air from its top mesh panel with tiny 2mm sized holes. It's not very effective from my own experience. In the end, the CPU stress test reveals that the CPU maxes out at 5.05 GHz. 5.2 GHz is the ideal all-core max turbo clock speed, so it's losing out a bit of speed. But, overall, it's not too bad. You have to remember that this is a 9 liters case. You have to make compromises. Meanwhile, there is no issue whatsoever with GPU temperature. It seems to max out at around 65 degrees Celsius. The GPU is really well ventilated. I expect the same even when you install a full-height GPU as well. In conclusion, MetalFish T20 is, I would say, decent enough to warrant purchase. Its build quality is above average. As someone who has reviewed several MetalFish cases, I am going to say that the general quality of their products has been progressively getting better. The main feature of this case is that it gives you choices in the GPU department. You can opt for a low-profile GPU or go for a full-height GPU. But you may need to swap out your flex power supply fan if you go for a full-height GPU. Either way, not many cases out there offers you such choices in the first place. In fact, I think this is the only one in recent years. Another choice this case offers, which I did not mention in the video, is that you are able to house 2 hard drives in the space of a full-height GPU. In some ways, this T20 case is a bigger brother to Jonsbo NV10. T20 is 9 liters case. NV10 is 4.5 liters case. Build quality of both cases is identical. MetalFish has caught up with Jonsbo in an interesting twist. Thank you for watching.